All right, this here is an LS Tractor's MT122. They also make these as an MT125. What is the difference? It's a huge one. 3 horsepower. There's nothing else different. People ask me all the time, they don't believe me. There's no difference between the two, just the engine. So there we go. This says LL1101. That's not what the tractor is, that's what the loader is. So we got a lot of confusion there. Say LL1101. I think that stands for little loader. That's kind of cute. But here down on the hood, it says MT122. So that's what the tractor is. So we'll go through real quick what all the things are on the tractor, and then we'll start operating it. So this is a hydrostatic transmission, which is a fancy way of saying automatic. Forward pedal, backwards pedal, with a transmission selector for high, neutral, and low. So that's really easy. Here's your 4-wheel drive selector. Right now it's in 4-wheel drive. You can also operate in 2. And this lever here operates how high or low your 3-point is. So that's your 3-point right here. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. That's also called a top link and lower link arms. And then this is your PTO. We'll get to that. Well, actually, I'll take the cover off so you can see what it really looks like. Oh, there it is. So over here, this is your PTO selector. You have a rear PTO we just saw. There's a mid and rear selection because there's a PTO underneath your feet, and that selects the mid. This is a little power outlet. What thoughtful folks over at LS giving you a power outlet to charge your phone, and a cup holder. It's a big one too. Look at the size of that thing. This is your brake. You don't use your brake too often on a hydrostatic transmission. When you let your foot off the go pedal, it usually just kind of stops. But if you're on a hill, you do push down the brake. You can also push down the brake, pull up this lever. That's the parking brake. This is your rear locker. What will happen is your tires on either side are on an open differential. So if one of your tires starts spinning, all the power will go to that tire. That happens on cars too. That's why cars get stuck in the mud. So what this does, and you use it when you're stopped, is you stand on it or push down on it. You probably shouldn't stand on it if you're a big boy like me. And it'll make both of the tires lock together, so they have to spin together. So even if that one has no traction, the one on the other side can spin. This is a selector for your turn signal. Right turn signal left. Flashers. They're flashing. Headlights, brights, and flashers. So brights and flashers. That's parade mode. This is a steering wheel. Look what that does. It steers. Here's your loader. That's your bucket. And then back around here, this is your loader control. We'll get to that in just a sec. This is your PTO switch. So this would turn that thing on the back, the PTO, this would turn it on or off. If this is on, the tractor won't start, so make sure it's off. And you shouldn't just drive around with it on either, because the thing will spin, get wrapped up on stuff, and probably hurt you. So keep that off unless you have an implement on the back that needs it. This is your throttle. Kind of hard to see. There we go. Rabbit's fast, turtle's slow. We'll talk about this in a sec, but in most cases, you want to run your tractor with the throttle up. There's never a good reason to run around with it in low. It's always better to run with it up, because that helps your hydraulics flow, makes the tractor move, makes the bucket lift stuff. Kind of squeezed in here, this is a forward speed lock, so be aware of that. If you accidentally bump it, this guy will just move forward under its own volition until you turn it off or hit the brake. And that right there is your ignition. 2 quick things I forgot to mention, because apparently I'm bad at my job and don't point out all the... No, there's 3 things I forgot to mention. Here, check this out. There's 3 things on this tractor I didn't mention. 1, this guy. If you have a mid-mowing deck that would be controlled by your mid-PTO, this would let you raise and lower that deck. This guy, this causes all sorts of problems for folks. If I turn it to the right, there's a rabbit. Left is rabbit, right is turtle. Except if I'm sitting on it, left is turtle, right's rabbit. This controls how fast or how slow your 3-point, these guys, how fast they lower. So that adds pressure to them. Also, if you have that locked, it might not raise or lower. So sometimes if these things won't move, you get down to that knob, you turn it towards the rabbit and they'll free up. Now last but not least is on the other side. That's this little doohickey. If you push that in, it locks your loader control. That's a safety thing, kind of nice to know. You shouldn't work under the loader, but if you have no choice, lock it. That way somebody couldn't come over and be like, hey dude, what's going on? And lean on this thing and drop the thing on your head. Okay, back to it. So going back to the loader, before we start it up, so it's easier to hear, pulling back like this lifts the loader, pushing forward drops the loader. Pulling it in towards you makes the bucket curl towards you, and away makes it drop away. They give you little directions here too, kind of. So that's fun. You see there's like little diagonals here too, so you could lift and curl at the same time, or drop and dump at the same time. That works the best when your RPMs are the highest. The higher your RPMs are, the more juice going through these hoses to the loader, the more control you have over the loader. That's about it. I got a special person with me today who can help me show how to start it up. This is Anjum.
Hi.
She's really excited to be on this video. Jump in the seat, we'll go through how to start up a tractor. Have you ever run a tractor before?
Very briefly.
Very briefly. That's perfect. So right now, just for safety's sake, I like to have the transmission in neutral, so make sure that's there. Once you're ready to drive around, you'll probably slap this down into low. It'll move easier once it's started. You usually want to have your bucket down. You want to make sure your PTO is turned off. Next thing you do is put your foot on the brake. Foot's on the brake. There's usually a safety override. That's why you have your foot on the brake, and it's also safe. You're going to take your key. It's a cold day. You're going to turn it away from start. So you're going to turn it to the left and hold it for a couple seconds. Yep. Okay. So if it's really cold, you'll see a little loop-de-loo thing here that'll tell you that your glow plugs are starting. But we're warm enough, so no problem. So now you're going to turn it 2 clicks to the right, and that engine's going to start. There we go. So I kind of made a mistake there. You don't want to start it with it all the way on the rabbit. No big deal. So I've already warmed this one up. Usually you want to sit for a minute or so with this thing idling, but I've already warmed it up, so that's okay. So we can move these RPMs up, and you're going to kind of hear how noisy it is. And a lot of people want to leave them at a low idle when they're running because it's so noisy. They think things that are noisy are bad. With the tractor, things that are noisy are good. So we're going to turn this guy all the way up, get it up to like 2,000 RPMs. You got a gauge right up here, and we'll show you your RPMs. So to me, this is the minimum you should run at. Normally, you should be up around 2,500 or more. But if you're just putzing around, no big deal. So then you're going to take your shifter, put it into low. If it won't go into low, kind of push this foot pedal, just tap it and slap that. Okay, take your foot off the pedal, there you go. And pull this back to lift your bucket. Cool, go drive around. Yeah? Yep. You're a little short. You could move the seat forward if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a seat puller forward thing right there, like on your car. Up and running. Gonna go. I don't know where she's going. She's going somewhere. So I'm gonna go catch up with her. if you want to stick around, we're going to go scoop some stuff and work on that loader operation. So that's what we'll start doing next. Okay, so we're going to talk about just basic ways of using the loader. We got a bunch of material right here. We're going to be driving the tractor into it with the bucket. As we drive forward, we're going to scoop it, and then we're going to lift the bucket and drive away. So there's a few hand and foot things we're doing at the same time. So what you're going to be doing is, as you're driving forward, you take this stick and push it in towards you. So that'll make the bucket curl. You want to make sure that your bucket's kind of parallel with the ground and right on top of the dirt. You won't want to dig the dirt, but you want to get as much material out of off the ground. So that's kind of a finesse thing. You'll learn how to do that over time. So some people curl while they're lifting. That's fine to do if you're really fancy. If you're not, you can just drive forward and push this thing in, and it'll start picking up material. You'll want to have your RPMs high, like 2,500 RPMs. And I have a little trick I like doing. I like bumping this as I'm driving in the material. It kind of makes the bucket jump a little bit, and it loosens up the material a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, go ahead and turn your RPMs up. There we go. So you're going to start driving into the material while curling your bucket. Try again. Try backing up. This is your first time using a bucket, so it's no big deal. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to have to push away from you to make that bucket level again. There we go, now the bucket's headed into the material. So you're going to drive forward and very slowly curl it up. Just give it little taps. There you go. Hey, second car was way better. What's that?
Now what?
Well, now you can either lift and drive away. You know, you can kind of jerk this thing to make it dump off the extra. Or you can back up. And then lay your bucket down. Yeah, really push that go pedal while you're getting in there. Wait until it almost stops you before you try to curl it. There you go. Yep. Yep, and now lay it back and lift the bucket. Yeah, way better. Then back it up and let's go dump it. Right at that angle it's at right there. So the other thing you can do with this bucket is called backblading. That's what we did with the driveway. So you take that bucket, you'd move forward a little ways, put the bucket down in the material, and then just drive backwards. Smooths it out. It's easier than using a rake. Yeah, try that. that's perfect because we're trying to do it real slick or real thick. So that's your basics. We did a little scooping and a little bit of backblading, and it was super fun, and everybody enjoyed it.
I like the baby tractor.
Might have to adopt another tractor. All right, well, enough talking, let's work. Okay, you're done with your
You're not doing a good job right now. What? Why does the mere sight of me make you laugh uncontrollably?
Just a goof.
You're a goof.
I feel a little goofy. Okay, so you got through your first day of work with the MT122. Was there anything that you particularly liked about it?
I liked it better than doing it by hand.
Overall, though, everything was pretty easy to work. I mean, it seemed like you picked it up pretty fast.
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty easy with just a, quick tutorial. Obviously, I would get better with more practice. I was still a little goofy with the controls at times, but felt like I did all right.
Yeah. And over time, I was watching you use the loader. You're getting more fuller scoops.
Yeah.
And after a while, you stop being so bashful, and you just go downhill as fast as you could into the pile of wood chips and flip the loader up and fill it up.
This is the thing: is that my only other experience in driving, some kind of like machine is in driving race ATVs, and so. I like to go fast, and I'm not afraid of speed. So this is, now I've graduated to adult work.
It's way slower.
It's slower, but it's okay because we accomplished a lot. Look at all this. And I'm very excited about my future garden here.
Yeah, and you were going, a lot of times when you were coming to get wood chips, you'd be in high gear.
Yeah.
And then you had to switch into low gear to load up on the chips.
Yeah, I figured that one out after making many slow trips back and forth. And then once you showed me that I could go into high gear, I kept it in high gear for a minute, but then I would get into the chips or into the mud and I'd get stuck, and so then I'd have to put it in low. And so then I had the light bulb moment that, hey, if I put it in high while I'm driving, then put it in low while I'm working, then that's a good program. So that's what I did.
Getting stuck with the tractor is a pretty normal thing out here. You get stuck with the big one all the time, and that was the big thing, the first thing you do when you're stuck is make sure you're in four-wheel drive, then make sure you're in low gear. Also, don't just sit there spinning your wheels. You're smarter than me. I'll get frustrated and I'll just spin it and just hope that I can muscle out.
Yeah,
you're smart.
I realized that if I started to get stuck you know, trying to reverse, well, then go forward a little bit and try it again.
Yeah.
So that seemed to work out.
And the biggest one of all is straighten out your front wheels. Because if you try to turn your front wheels, they'll get hooked in whatever dip you're in, and then you're trying to pull your front wheels through the mud. So you straighten out, back up, and then maybe go a different direction. Yeah. Which, you know, we did out there.
I did that. I tried to go back through the mud pit one time, and then almost got stuck, and was like, forget it, I'm not trying that one again.
But I mean, that's what happens. That's why you have forward driving. That's why you have low. Yeah, a lot of the tractors, not just having low and high, they'll have a medium gear, which is what I was working in today. So you can kind of go quicker and feel like you're not just plodding along. But I mean, they're not race cars, they're tractors, so they are going to be slow. That's just how they are. The loader control, you know, that seemed like you got a hand up pretty quick, or a hold up pretty quick. It wasn't bouncing around a lot, which seemed nice. Like you'd be sitting there shaking the loader control, which a lot of tractors, it'll actually buck you out of the seat. These ones, we put some weight in the tires, we put some fluid in it, but it's not much. And you weren't carrying heavy stuff. These chips aren't very heavy, but there's tractors out there that will struggle with that amount of chips. This one will lift 1,000 pounds, which is pretty neat. I don't know, it seemed like this load floor is flat, so it was kind of nice. You could move your feet around. You know, I can fit in this, which is amazing, and you can fit in it. That's really neat. Yeah,
there's a lot of times I struggle a little bit in the big tractor to get my feet to reach the pedals.
Yeah, I feel like you got to put wood blocks on your feet to reach them. Was there anything that you disliked that you wish the tractor had or would do, besides not going super fast?
No, I mean, no, I don't know.
So I should have asked you this before lunch, so you could have come up with some good criticism.
I don't have any criticism.
Well, I do. There is not a horn on this tractor, and so
I did look for that.
There was no horn,
at me.
so I could beep at you to get you out of the way, and you couldn't. Yeah. The turning radius on this tractor, I love. It was super tight in four-wheel drive. We can turn around. I mean, the amount of places you can go with this was nuts. Yeah.
You could fit almost anywhere.
Yeah, and then the loader, I wasn't sure if it would lift high enough to dump over the side of a truck bed, and it did. And I think any tractor that doesn't do that isn't a tractor. I think it's a lawnmower, and you shouldn't be spending more than a few grand for it. And these cost more than a few grand, so I'm glad it dumps over the side of a truck. Because if you have a tractor, you have to have a truck. Yeah, you're always doing stuff with trucks and tractors. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I can't really think of anything I absolutely didn't like. You know, high gear is a little gutless, but that's just a traveling gear. Low gear is real slow, so it'd be nice to have a mid. We didn't do anything with the 3-point. The way you take this off, I do have a little insight on that. You unbolt these things and you have to pull a bar from side to side. That's kind of a pain if you have a backhoe, because you have to remove this. They have made an updated kit where this thing here is split. This does not have that kit. So if you do buy one of these tractors with a backhoe, make sure they have that updated kit on it. And then this loader, it was not the easiest to tell when you were level.
Yeah, I'd have to kind of stand up and put my head around the side.
That's pretty normal with compact tractors, really. We see that a lot. But on the new edition of this bucket, this is a used bucket. The new edition of this bucket, there's a little piece of metal here that says level indicator on it, which seems like the silliest thing in the world. But when it's sitting flat, your bucket is also flat. So that was actually a nice change that they did on the newer bucket.
I did figure out that if when the bucket was up, that if at that point I tried to level it out, it was a little easier to tell than when it was low.
Yeah, for sure.
So you could level it while it was up and then lower it once you get into your material.
Yeah. Yeah, not too bad though. I think it was a fun day. Moved around a lot of junk. Yeah. And now it's going to rain torrentially for 6 more months, so we won't be able to use any tractor ever again.
Well, good thing we got her done then.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll go inside and take a nap now, since all the hard work we have to do for the next year is done, and then go. foot on the inside. Right, 12 or 15 on the outside. Let's do it tight. That's it, 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive, you turn tighter. Wanna go out much? Well, we got this little guy back at the dealership. It was really fun using it. You know, I'm a big tractor fella myself because I'm a big guy, but I don't know, I found it quite enjoyable. So what do we like about this tractor? I liked that it was really easy to operate, really big operator station. I mean, I had tons of room in that thing. Here, well, let's flip the camera around and show you some other stuff. Yeah, I can't say enough how nice this operator station was for me. Anjum fit in it great. I could as well. I like the armrests. I like the placement of everything here. Giant cup holder. Getting to the PTO selector is easy. You know, there's nothing really underfoot here that you're going to accidentally bump into. So you're going to on purpose anything you want to do. Something you can't really see on this tractor is the radiator placement, which is great for the summer. So the radiator's back here instead of up here, and it pulls the air from the operator station and pushes it forward through the engine rather than the other way around. So on hot days, you're not going to get cooked. I think that's a really good idea. Everything's relatively easy to get to inside here. You can take these side panels off if you need to get to stuff, so that's good. Oil changes pretty easy. Oil fills right down here. The sticks over there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're just talking about overall impressions, ease of use, and it was easy to use. And that's metal too. How nice is that? Comfortable tractor to operate. I wasn't banging around at all. Loader, tons of power, so that was nice. What else could I think of that I didn't like? You know, the only thing I didn't like about this tractor is normal tractor stuff. It's a light tractor, so trying to backblade the driveway, you know, I couldn't get all that good down pressure going to really break through the crust or just smash everything down into a pulp that I'm used to with the larger tractor. But that's going to be a problem with any machine this size. You know, the float was easy to use on this guy. Oops. Pops in real easy. Throttle control was easy to get to. It wasn't confusing. Some tractors, you go down for throttle and up to turn the throttle down. That makes no sense to me. Having only a high and a low on the transmission, probably not the best. I do like having a medium setting, but again, small budget tractor, you're going to get what you're going to get. And it wasn't to its detriment. This thing should work in low range a lot. They don't have gobs and gobs of power and weight, so you've got to be running in lower range to do those heavy duty things. Yeah, I was shocked that it dumped into the side of a pickup truck. I guess I just never really thought about that until I had it. And you could dump all the way into the side of the pickup truck, so that's really nice. It seems dumb, but the seatbelt, the placement is really nice. It doesn't get lost down in here. That's solid. I think that's important. You should wear your seatbelt in case of a rollover. I like where the fuel fill is located. I don't like them when they're on the hood. That's a pain. So that guy being right there, that's really nice. I can't say enough about things I like about this tractor. It was, again, really comfortable to operate, which I think is the #1 most important thing on a tractor, is that you're comfortable. So, yep, it's back here at the dealer. Gonna find itself a new home. Maybe it could be at your home. You can get a hold of me, townandcountrytractors.com. Otherwise, go to your local LS dealer. Try these little guys out. You know, if you don't have a big property, man, they'd be perfect for you. We're not seeing these things coming in broken down. We don't cringe when they go out thinking, oh man, that thing's going to be a boomerang, you know, coming right back in here with problems. And they're coming out with more and more stuff that you can put on them. They accept normal sized, in many cases, attachments, so you don't have to buy super tiny subcompact attachments. I just put on a full-size 60-inch rear blade on one for snow removal, bolted right on. Check this out. There's the brand new grapple coming out for these tractors. So those are available. The backhoe setup on these, I didn't try one of these out because I didn't have any backhoe work to do, but great backhoe setup on that thing. So again, if you're looking for a small tractor, definitely recommended. I found it to be just a joy to operate, and I'm super stoked to be selling them here at the dealership. So again, if you want to track one down, you live in the Northwest, townandcountrytractors.com. If you're not in my region, I will get you with a local dealer. I think it's important to work with your local dealer. Happy to help you. Any questions you might have, hit me up down here. Still, right now I'm still working.